party people. Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, I am joined by Austin Taylor as we explore the Weaver's Observatory. The Weaver's Observatory is a two-player adventure for Tunnel Goons written by Dan Phipps and Callie Laurie of Gem Room Games about an ancient tower outside of time, an explorer seeking to change their destiny by asking a boon of fate herself. In it, we explore the life of a character from whom every other hope has been extinguished as they traverse the tower's obstacles to learn whether or not their story ends in fortune or tragedy. Now, this is a bit of a weird experiment for the show. We don't traditionally do adventures for other systems. But honestly, this game is so beautifully written and evocative and such an interesting and captivating play experience. And it so perfectly matched what Austin wanted when we talked about what we were looking for in a game that it felt too perfect not to throw ourselves into the experience. And I'm honestly so glad we did because, and I think that you'll hear this in the episode itself, this is a wonderful, captivating experience that really took hold in my heart and that I've been thinking about ever since. You can find more information about the Weaver's Observatory at gemroomgames.com, or you can check the show notes for more information. Austin is one of the hosts of Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries, a podcast on the Maximum Fun Network that delves into the rich history of secret nerd histories near and dear to our hearts, answering the kind of nerdy questions that you never really think to ask, like, why does Chuck E. Cheese love birthdays so much, or why are Saturday morning cartoons a thing? Austin is also one of the designers of Kids in Capes, an upcoming superhero role-playing game published by Hunters Entertainment about young people discovering superpowers and discovering what it means to be a hero, which I don't have to tell you is my entire bullshit summed up in a single sentence. I am so excited about this game. You can find her on Twitter at Sailor Scout Austin. You can find her work at austintaylor.games, or again, you can check the show notes for more information. With all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. I am so beyond excited. I am sitting down with Austin Taylor. Austin, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I am thrilled. I'm thinking, I'm having a moment.
Yeah.
Is this the first time we sat down for a game together?
Yes.
That feels wrong to me, and I'm shocked that it's taken this long, but also I'm thrilled to be final. This is the secret joy of the show, is that I get a chance to do this with people that I enjoy and respect, and I'm so fucking thrilled to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Before we dive into today's game, why don't you take a moment to let our lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on that you might want them to know about?
Sure. So my name's Austin Taylor. I'm known online as Sailor Scout Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. What do I have? I am one of the co-hosts for Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries on Maximum Fun. We are a weekly comedy nerd history podcast. But we don't do normal nerd history. You might be like, I want to learn about Spider-Man. I'm not going to teach you. I'm so sorry. I will teach about the history of interactive children's television. And 1950 sensation Winky Dink and You. I will teach you about that. Or about the history of the cartoon commercial, which is fascinating.
I love, I saw you mentioned that one, I think recently, that's a recent episode from at the time of this recording. And I saw that and was just captivated because that is a thing that I am extremely normal about.
Yeah, it's so fascinating because it's cartoon commercials are arguably bad. Right? The fact that companies are we can sell a bunch of toys to kids if we just make a cartoon about it and have the cartoon tell them they want the toy for 30 minutes a week. That's arguably not a great thing, but it also shaped media in a way where without it, I don't know if we get some of the amazing kids cartoons we get now.
Yeah, for sure. Here's the thing, and this is also an endorsement of this exact podcast. You are just wonderful to listen and talk about stuff, and it works. It hits. So today we are playing a very special game. I am very excited. Talk to me about, I guess, when we sat down to find a game to play, you said you pitched me on a specific vibe. Talk to me about the vibe that you wanted to capture with today's game.
Oh my God. I should have, I wanted to do something cool. I said it cooler in that I was like, I want to do something like fun and epic, maybe.
Epic was the word. I want to say you said you were on a big like gods and myth kick specifically.
Yes, I am. I have been. I am deep in the trenches because of something else I'm working on. The long story short, in terms of what I want to put, I'll tell Jeff later, everybody. But what I want to say here, where all you hear me, is last year, in summer of 2023, for the first time in my life, I read the Percy Jackson books. I'm no longer a middle schooler. Right? So like I read them understanding like these were written for middle schoolers, not for 30-year-olds, which is fine. That's good. I'm glad they were. These are great books for middle schoolers. They're great. Hey, if you have a middle schooler, give them Percy Jackson instead of that other guy.
Sure. Yeah.
But I was reading and I was like, this is really cool. I also wasn't a Greek myth gay. Never got into Greek myth growing up. Not even I was like, Apollo is the sun guy and Artemis is the cool lesbian with a bow, right? And that was all I knew.
I like exactly the same vibe. For me, like if you'd asked me at any moment in my life before adulthood, Apollo was Midnighter's boyfriend, and that's it. Like that's it. That's all I got.
Like the most I knew about Greek myth was when superheroes took Greek myth names. So like that was the frame of reference I had. I'm like, well, Artemis is something with a bow because there's that one Artemis superhero. And so reading the Percy Jackson, and then like they bring up all these myths and stuff, which is a really cool way. And so I'm like Googling them, like, okay, well, like what's like not the real myth because it's all stories, but like what's like the source material for this myth? I got real into it. I was like, oh, I see how people lose hours on Wikipedia to this stuff.
100%. Like it really is one of those things that like you start to look at it and just realize you're like, oh, this fucking rips. And like there's a real vibe to it that I went out and I sat down and I tried to like think about games that like hit that vibe either explicitly or sort of like adjacently. And I found a really good game that I'm excited to kind of play through. Hitting on some very like thematic vibes. There were some games that I threw at you that were a little bit more like literally grounded in myth, but this one I feel really great about. We are playing The Weaver's Observatory, which is an adventure written for Tunnel Goons, which is a very, very lightweight, old school Renaissance adventure game by the Highland Paranormal Society. Weaver's Observatory is a 2-player game about going through a tunnel or going through a tower that is all sort of themed around the threads of fate so that you as a climber can ask fate a question in a desperate moment.
That's really sick.
Now let me ask you, like, what are you excited to explore here? What's the vibe? What are you feeling? What are you excited about as we head into the game and I start to lay things out?
So here's my toxic trait, right? My toxic trait is almost no matter what the theme is, I'm like, my character is going to be so so stable and normal.
Sure.
But I mean, I don't like to I've made one fucked up little guy. And that was like a treat because I was in a horror game and it made sense. I was like, being like they didn't fit the tone of what I signed up to do, right? Otherwise, I'm like, they're so normal and just out here to have a good time. And they don't let the haters get to them. And it's like, how are they so stable in this world? My headcanon is in every game I play, therapy exists. You may not see me go to therapy. Therapy exists, and I'm like, well, I'll talk to Susan about that on Monday. Wow, that was really messed up.
Sure, that tracks. I think like I'm kind of excited. That kind of touches on what like I'm particularly excited about, which is like I'm excited to both play against that impulse and like have you embody a character that is so desperately obsessed with something that they are like pressing through a space to confront the fates themselves. Yeah. But also, I want to know, like, also, like, that vibe, because, like, I exist in a very similar space at all times with my games and my characters. Like, I will often play just pretty chill. I'm in an off-mic game of Die right now, and I quickly realized, I I'm like looking at my character and being like, oh yeah, they worked out a lot of their stuff between when they were kids and when they got sucked back into the game. They've worked out a lot of shit. They made a lot of character growth.
Everyone else is freaking out like, did you guys not go to, we needed like a lot of therapy. Did you not go to?
Did you guys not? But like, I'm kind of excited to see what that energy, like in this exact situation, which I'll read the intro to, like, I'm excited to see how that energy translates into this precise situation.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't supposed to be here. After everything you had to do to get here, your heart falters at the sight of the stone tower in the distance. It looms, a fulcrum of reality, all the more foreboding now for how it seems to ignore you. The sound of your every footfall threatens to interrupt the distant twang and clank of an impossible and intricate mechanism. The blasphemy of your approach can be felt in the sourness of your stomach, the sweat on your brow, and the lump in your throat. Who are you to stand here? This place is not for you. This place is not for anyone. And yet, you press on. There is no other path for you now. All other embers have been extinguished. Every other avenue has been a dead end. All hopes are lost. All but a stone tower out of time and out of place. Only the vagaries of fate can help you now, and so you will seek help from fate directly. You will find your courage or you will not. It does not matter now. Uncountable half-real threads shimmering in and out of view form a living canopy, driving inexorably to the loom of fate at the apex of the tower. You too have only one path, towards the Weaver's Observatory.
That's sick.
I love a good intro. I love a good intro text. If you can catch me and catch me quick, there's nothing I love more. So let's talk through character creation. As mentioned, we are playing Tunnels Goons. This is a pretty straightforward game. The core of it is you are going to have like a small number of abilities. In the traditional game, these are Brute, Skulker, and Erudite. You are going to
I'm going to pretend I know what erudite means. You're right.
Good at reading, perception, speaking, and remembering. You are going to roll me a couple D6s to kind of flesh out a character. Or if you have the book in front of you and you flip to page 5, we can sort of choose options as needed. But we're going to kind of create this character right now. So roll me a D6 to kind of give your character's childhood.
Here's some dice ASMR because I forgot I was on a game playing show.
It happens to me all the time.
I'm just sitting here often. Like I'm just hanging out with Jeff and you're like, roll some dice. Oh shit, right.
We're just vibing and then suddenly it's like, oh no.
I got a 2.
A 2. A sewer mapper.
Oh.
You get 1 point in Brute and a Plague Mask.
Sick.
Give me a D6 for your profession.
Okay. Wait, my profession isn't sewer mapper? That's just
that was
hobby?
That was your childhood. You spent your childhood wandering these sort of immense, larger-than-life sewers, mapping things out.
Sewer mapper. Now
let me ask you.
Now your job.
I'm gonna throw this into your world. Like your childhood was spent mapping a sewer. Why?
Yeah. I'm a spelunker. I want to be a spelunker.
Love that.
Easy. That's something me, Austin, wanted to do. And then I tried it once and I was like, oh, it's scary. It's dark down here.
And like the idea that you wanted to be a spelunker in like a city, right? Like in like a space where the only really closest thing is the sewers is immediately very like telling to me.
Oh shit. What did I 3? A
stage musician.
Incredible.
What pushed you towards stage music?
There's no listen, I'm not a capitalist, but there is no money in sewer mapping. The city already has those. I think it was like one day I was like down in there doing my thing, and you know, like cities are built in layers, and I think I was like under whatever transit system exists in the city, and I heard a band jamming in the transit center. And that seemed pretty cool, and also like something I could do where I could like be around people.
Mm-hmm. Give me one more D6 for the path that brought you to the tower. Oh, also take 1 point in...
I should be writing that down.
You have 1 point in brute, 1 point in skulker, which is sneaking, aiming, balancing, dodging.
Okay, 1 point in brute and skulker.
Yes, and you also have a costume and a plague mask.
Incredible. My last one I got is a 6.
Pure luck. What a
There's
good.
no such thing as luck.
Say more. Say more about this.
Oh, I think the dice tell the story. I don't want to. I won't get into the metaphysical beliefs that I have, but I personally believe in luck. I believe in thermonuclear miracles.
Sure. What then I will ask, so take it right. What item do you want to have? Like it says item of choice. If there's an, what is the third item that you have? And like, what series of events, I guess, like what is the series of events that guided you towards the tower? Not so much like the, I guess not so much the, like broader inspiration for seeking the tower, but like, what helped you find your way to the tower?
I think it was okay, so I think I had like I think this is the point in the slice of life anime you're watching when it's like I'm not a slice of life at all, and everyone's like, whoa, what the shit, it's been a slice of life for 4 episodes. And I think it was like fully I went down into the sewer because they built in like they were like building a new sewer way, and so it wasn't it wasn't gross yet. It's been a while. I'm like not big into being in there. Like when you're a kid, gross stuff isn't a big deal, but when you're an adult, you're like, you know what, I should not be down there. But they're like building a new sewer pathway, so I was like, oh, I haven't mapped it and it's not gross. And I think I fully found like a classic but very much fictional medieval knight, in the way that like we romanticize medieval knights, not in the way medieval knights actually were. And I was confused because I'm like, you're like a movie medieval knight, not a real medieval knight. What are you doing down here? And they gave me like their not their sword. They like didn't have their sword, but they gave me their cloak and told me I had to find their sword before they like expired and turned into fairy dust.
I love this. I really, really love this. And so like following the tunnels in the sewer, peak Goonies energy, like we arrive at, I think I'm visualizing that the tower is in the metaphysical space, like underneath the city.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was like they told me to go down the tunnel and I was like, oh, okay. And I think it's like I walked away with the cloak, thinking it's like someone who got a little too silly goofy at their like dress rehearsal, to go find their quote unquote sword, which I assume is their phone. And I keep walking. Behind me, they turn into like fairy dust and like blow away on the wind. That doesn't exist because we're underground. And it's like you like keep walking, and it's that sort of thing when you sort of like lose focus on what you're doing, because I think I keep the maps I make on my phone.
Sure.
So I don't have service because I'm on the ground. So it's not weird when service doesn't come back, but I'm like opening my notes app and like doing the little drawing thing with my finger, trying to make a straight line, like where it goes. And I like look up and it's like it's like an outside space suddenly. Like I feel my feet touch ground, not cement. And I'm like, huh? And I look up and I look around and I'm like, what?
I love this. So in your heart, and you're not going to tell me this right now, but I want you to think on it as I kind of describe the intro to the tower.
Okay.
The most important thing to know about the climber, about you, about like your journey through the tower is there is something in your heart that you are going to ask of fate when you arrive at the top of the tower. Think about what that request is and hold it, write it down. I will not learn of that request until you speak it out loud, and then I will respond. But I'm going to guide you through each floor of this tower, And each time we reach a new floor, I'm going to ask you some memory questions about like the metaphysical journey of coming to this tower. We've seen sort of what physically brought you here, but the emotional journey I'm going to unravel one memory at a time. That is the journey that we are about to embark on.
Heard.
We begin on the outside of the tower. The tower juts out of the ground. It says seaside cliffs, but I like that it's like almost a moat, and it's almost just like an underground spring.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just juts forth in the middle of, almost envision the cave equivalent of like a missile silo, where there's that one kind of catwalk around the edge, and it's just like a pit downward, and there's a tower jutting up in the center. From the outside, its purpose is not obvious. It has neither the bell of a bell tower nor the light of a lighthouse. It does not appear to be fortified for war. When you look at the highest floor, you can see from the corners of your eyes threads of all weights and colors coming from this place as far as the eye can see. They buzz and twang, vibrating with action. If you look directly at the top of the tower, there is nothing. It is simply the top of almost a spire more than a tower. But then when you kind of drift your eyes, you see like shimmering threads of like a rainbow color sparkling in every possible direction. The threads of fate are spooling out in front of you. And downhill from where you are, like down in the pit, at the foot of the tower, you can see a rope bridge and a small door. You need to make your way down there to get there and try to find a way inside.
Okay.
So what do you do?
Okay, so is there space to walk to the rope bridge in the...
There is space to, like, it is, there's like a circular kind of catwalk around the edge of this very large circular chamber, and then the spire of the tunnels in the middle. There is space to climb. Like there are different like outcroppings, and it seems like there is like a separate tunnel, almost a lower level of the sewer, where there's a rope bridge connecting whatever is on this lower level of sewer pipe to the tower itself. It is sort of a bound collection of like threaded rope formed into a bridge. You could try and like navigate the tunnels to try and like find where this lower level is, or you could try to climb your way down accordingly.
I think I would take out my current existing sewer map to see if I can figure out if that pipe exists, where it exists.
Sure. Give me I'm going to say this is an erudite roll.
Cool. I have none on that. I just roll a d6, I assume?
Yes.
I don't know what numbers are good. I got a 4. That's in the middle.
4, you want the high numbers are good.
Okay.
I think like what you find is, by all rights, this should be the lowest. Like this is not, if you think about sewers, traditionally there's not a lot of like pipes underneath pipes.
Yeah.
Generally they're a pretty flat structure.
Yes.
So the idea that you're looking down and seeing another set of pipes, another sewer system, is very alarming. Like that's not something that should be there.
Yeah.
I think is what you find.
I think that tells me logic isn't going to work here. So going in and trying to navigate down seems risky. So I think I like tighten the cloak on my shoulders, and I sort of whisper to it, "I hope you're a flying cloak." And I'm going to try and climb down.
Give me a brute roll. Or skulker. I guess describe to me like your approach to climbing, and then roll whichever is higher, which I think are the same for you, but doesn't matter. But talk to me about process.
I think it's like a physical climb down. I think like I'm not I don't do flips and tricks, but I think between all the walking I must have done when I was mapping the sewers of my youth and being a stage musician, like you're an active person. So I think I'm just like, I can just climb down. I do the rock wall every Friday.
Sure.
Uh, I got a 5 plus my 1, so 6.
Okay. You slip and tumble. I think like as you start to climb, you realize that like you dig your hands into the wall, you kind of start to like sort of hoist yourself and fall. And what you realize is when you sort of first kick your hands down and sort of grab hold, um this doesn't have the give that you thought a rock wall should have. It like doesn't crumble, but it sponges, or like your fingers kind of pierce into you are holding in, your fingers are like lacing in between a wall of like densely woven thread. And like you kind of slip and tumble and like slip down, and you find yourself like at the base of this tunnel, but you've realized that because of the sort of like threadbare woven nature of this, what you thought was a rock wall, you're not going to be able to climb back up. You're going to have to find a different way back from the other side. Like to get back is going to require a different pathway or a different strategy.
Well, I like look at the bridge. I mean, I don't know, this tower could be the evil wizard of the Calvaxis 4, so I may not need to come back anyway.
And you look down, you can see down the sewer tunnel. And what you see is when you look down the tunnel, you see when you came to this opening, it was like you were walking a straight line, you turned left, and there was the opening to the space. When you look, you can see like you can see the turn to turn back from whence you came is also a left, meaning that you are looking at an exact reversed mirror of the space that you entered in. Before you stands the moat.
And it's like a rope bridge, right?
Yeah. This is a rope bridge. There is like a moat underneath, and what you can smell even through your sort of plague mask is seawater. An inky, deep, overwhelming seawater. There's a little bit metallic, it's a little tinny, but it's very salty, it's very warm. There's a humidity in the air. You can hear a sort of gentle bubbling, and you touch this bridge and you realize, much like the wall behind you, it is a woven thread bridge forming the barest path over the moat. The thread is an unbleached cream, the color of cotton fibers or a pale sheep's wool. It is holding perfectly strong, but it is these very thin, almost craft threads woven together to form this sort of half tightrope, half cable, half bridge concoction.
Well, I can't fly, as far as I know. How high up am I?
How high up are you? I think you look down, and I reverse the question back to you.
I think it's one of those things where it seemed death-defyingly high when I had to get down here, but I think being down here from here to the moat, it's not me, Austin, doesn't know the physics of what's like a fall to your doom and not, but I think it's like it's like not a fall to my doom. It wouldn't be fun. I assume whatever that thing is sitting on is also made of rope, so I couldn't climb it, but like that wouldn't be the end. I would just have to figure something else out again if I fell.
Sure.
And it's not connected to anything else. I don't see another way.
It is
forward.
like connected to the edge of the catwalk that you're on, and it leads to the like a doorway and heading into the tunnel.
Okay. I mean, I guess I try and cross it then.
How are you trying to cross it?
So when you say rope bridge, I guess I want to. In when you say rope bridge, you mean it's like the style where it's like a single rope and the handholds on the side, or is it like a bridge with planks?
I'm thinking rope with handrails on the side,
Okay. That's what I was
all of
thinking.
which are made of these like twirls of thread.
I think. I mean, I think what I would try to do is take off like my costume shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I don't know like how these things are constructed because I've never been. Me, Austin's never been like a rope bridge like this. I've just like seen them on TV.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to do is take off my costume. I want to take off my costume shirt and like tie one sleeve around me, and then tie a sleeve around the base of this bridge as like a. Not that I think the shirt is strong enough if I fall it'll like catch me, but it's like I don't have like I mentioned like the Rockwell, like I don't have like a full safety kit, but I'm like I
Mm-hmm.
should do something to at least help give me time to react.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to try to put one foot on cautiously, like put weight on one foot on it to see if it'll hold or if it's gonna like bend instantly.
It bends, but like it bends enough that you can put your weight on it, but it is going to require either speed or balance to like get across. Like it is clearly going to bend and wiggle and potentially throw you overboard, but it is going to require some degree of moving across with like sufficient speed. Like I'm not going to slow down until I'm on the other side, or I'm going to carefully consider each step and like where it is on the where it is relation to the bridge. So I guess my question is, are you more swift or are you more cautious?
I think I'm more swift.
Okay, then give me a brute roll.
6 plus 1, 7.
Um, Give me one more d6 roll for because you've got some gear that is like helping you along the way, and then take the higher of the take the two highest die results. Give yourself some advantage.
Okay. Am I rolling 1d6 or 2?
2d6.
Oh, I've been rolling 1.
Oh, that's probably a huge help in that
Well,
case.
you're like, oh my god, Austin.
Give me 2d6 plus 1.
Oh, that one fell on my floor. I will roll a different one. Nice, that's so funny. Same as on my floor. 10, 11. Is that
Okay,
that's
yeah.
probably a better number. I was like, I was like 7 or 6 last time. I was like 5 plus 1, 6. And you're like, you fall, and I was like, damn, this game is hard. I can only roll one more high.
You are making your way across the bridge. The second that you put your hand on the ropes, the tower in front of you disappears.
Oh.
And you are alone, and you look back, and the wall on the other side, the sewer system, has also disappeared. And you are alone on a rope bridge floating in the ether. And you watch on both sides as time passes. All around you, you see constellations forming and dying. Time passes on this bridge. You watch it unfurl before you. And you watch stone by stone, the tower begins to construct itself. You're making your way across. You see people digging into the earth to form a sewer system. And as you make it to the other side, what is the moment that you first thought the question that you want to ask fate at the top of the tower?
It was second grade during snack time.
Here's the thing. That's a great answer, and I'm so excited to learn what that means when I learn the question. With that, you pierce the door to the door to the tower is open. It is unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
You easily push your way inside, and you find yourself surrounded on all sides by wooden pegs. Tall as you, if not taller. There are gigantic wooden pegs, wooden columns, obelisks sticking in the air. And you walk, and you and these pegs are both floating in the ether. Like, they are clearly planted somewhere, but the floor beneath you has disappeared. You see the inky indigo water beneath you, but it is the same sort of shifting height where it is both high and low at the same time. And you and these wooden pegs are floating around. You can see on the opposite wall a curving staircase. There's no obvious path to this staircase. There is just this sort of lattice work of wooden columns.
Can I touch one of the columns? Is that like, are they somewhere I can reach?
Yeah, you can reach and touch them, and like you grab hold of one, and as you grab hold of it, you realize, like, you grab hold of one of the pegs and it begins to like rot. It begins to age. Time begins exerting on it immediately. And suddenly, as you are touching it, you feel the floor give out beneath you.
Oh.
You are now holding on to this peg, and it is beginning to age. It is beginning to wither. You can feel it becoming softer and more brittle. You are going to have to kind of like navigate across these pegs to get where you're going.
You said the floor gives out. Can I feel, like, if I feel for near the peg, is there floor for me to pull myself back up on?
There is not, but like you kick your legs a little bit and you can feel the peg itself wobble. And you realize that like the floor has given out for you, but the floor has also given out to these pegs, which means that like with physical force or grace or sheer luck or anything of the sort, you can maybe like slide the pegs into one another and kind of like trapeze your way across the space.
Okay.
And as you begin to do that, you again, like the second you let go of that first peg, you watch it rot and you watch it fall into the water below. And the second that it strikes the water below, you see the cosmos. Like you see it land, and similar to how that night dissolved into fairy dust, you see it explode into stardust. You see it explode into, like, it splashes in the water, and then suddenly there is a swirling like constellation, a swirling quasar almost of like stars and gas twirling about, like forming sort of cosmic mist. And you continue to slide from peg to peg. You realize you are going to have to make a jump at the very end. Like you cannot, or you could potentially, you can try to jump. You can try to like really shove this last peg towards the staircase, or you can attempt some other strategy that is, you tell me what you're doing. But what are you doing? It's not going to be an easy shift from peg to staircase.
What I want to try to do is something that as little pegs I can decay is my goal. So if that means a big jump at the end, if that means I shove the last one, but I'm trying to like, if there's a way I can like leave an extra peg or something, like that's my goal. So whatever that looks like. So would that be jumping at the end? Would that be like shoving?
I think that's going to be jumping at the end. This is going to be a little bit more of a difficult action because you're not leveraging the peg to try and get you closer. So like make me a jumping. This is going to be a brute roll.
Come on. 8.
You almost make it.
Nice.
Your fingers grace the walls, and you try to scramble. You try to grab hold of the stairs, but the wall is just a little bit too worn smooth. It is a little bit too narrow, and you fall into the indigo pool below.
Well,
and all around you You are floating in an inky blue abyss, and all around you are visions of galaxies expanding, stars forming, microorganisms swimming and multiplying. You are watching all of time and cosmos and life and fate swirl around yourself. And you see a moment in your own story, in your own journey, for a glimpse that is one of the thermonuclear miracles that brought you to the place where the tower called to you. What was it?
I saw you say it again. You said I saw something that
you
brought
saw
me here?
like unfolding in front of you. You got a vision from the outside.
Okay.
Of one of the metaphysical moments
that brought me here.
That brought you to the place where the tower and where fate called for you.
Does it have to be of me, or is it of anything?
It can be anything, any of the factors that made it, that pushed you towards coming to the tower and asking the question that you've written down of fate. Whether your character was aware of it or not.
It is Mrs. Carter in Principal Sherman's office explaining that the second grade class will not be broken up into two classes, and instead the school will be hiring her a parapro to assist with the above average student body size that she's dealing with. Before she has to head back to finish teaching said class that's currently being watched by the first grade teacher.
I love this. I am so... This is such a good conceit for a game. Like, this conceit, like, I have all of these weird scenarios that the game, that the adventure has laid out for me, that I am, like, putting in front of you, and all of them, like, and, like, I get to watch you, like, react to these weird moments, and then every time I'm like, you have to, and to make explicit what I'm doing, the game asks you to offer up a memory every time you advance a level towards the top of the tower. So I'm like asking you questions to prompt memories that offer them up. And then as we get there, if you want to like specifically offer up memories to that end, you can, or I can continue to ask you questions. Either way, that's sort of the structure of the game. Is each time you reach a floor, you offer up a memory, and fate kind of gets a clearer picture of the question that you're going to ask. But me not knowing the question means that the things that you're giving me, my brain is spinning and I'm so stoked. We come to the third floor. The smell of salt and the cosmos fades, and you look around a room, and it is almost a ball pit of balls of discarded thread. You can see glimpses, hear glimpses, perceive these glimpses of bits of moments wrapped in each of these balls of thread. Moments that did not come to pass. Stories cut short. You see the lunch date between good friends that never came to pass because they didn't pick a day. You see the meals that people did not have. All of these little tiny moments, you know, sometimes large moments, the war that did not happen because somebody did not sign the right paperwork. All of these like colossal and tiny minor things, all balled up into little balls. However, there are a handful of loose threads, large enough to function as rope, that that as you look up, there is no clear way to get across, to get to the next level. There is no staircase, there is no pathway. But there are these balls of rope in different colors. You can they are hanging, and you can see them hanging from like the next floor up.
Okay.
There are multiple colors of rope. which color rope do you grab? They are all the colors of the rainbow. Except indigo. Don't grab indigo. There's no indigo.
Yellow.
Yellow. You grab yellow, and for a moment, no fucking way. I am so thrilled. I don't know if you have. Let me ask you this: did you have the descriptions? Because fuck, great. You grab yellow.
What did I do? No, to answer, I don't have any. I have a little Google Doc pulled up of things I say that I keep writing down. So when you say them later, I'm like, oh yeah, I said that off the top of my head.
I'm so thrilled that the yellow was the color that you grabbed.
Our call, and that is it.
Because,
and I have the opening pulled up because it's sick. I keep rereading it.
It is sick. You grab the yellow thread. You begin to climb your way up. It is fairly safe. It's pretty easy. Yeah. Also, you're pretty used to this. You're climbing your way up, and suddenly a second yellow thread tumbles next to you. And there is like another person, a woman in her young 30s is staring down at you slightly and is like, you should probably attach a carabiner to that thread, and is like gently swinging on this thread back and forth. You should attach a carabiner so that if you tumble, you don't lose your handle on the rope itself.
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't have one with me.
You didn't bring a carabiner?
No, I was at rehearsal, and then I heard they were building a new sewer gate, and so then I went down into the sewer right from rehearsal, and then there was this dude in like armor that I thought was part of the like Renaissance fair planning, and he gave me this cape cloak thing, and I realized now he was probably actually some sort of fantasy knight, and I probably should have like come back from whence I came and not talk to him. But this is how these sort of stories go when you read them, because they're like ha 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 ha, sure, I'll go get your sword. Do you have an extra carabiner? You seem prepared.
The carabiner catches you on this, like clocks you on the side of the head, like his little metal carabiner just like pops you on the side of the head, and she has already tossed it down in your direction.
Thank you. Where are we? What's going? Do you know what we're doing? Are we like adventuring buddies now? What's going? You seem very like you know what you're doing.
Best I can figure. Well, I mean, we're in the tower.
Yeah. Did you also see the entire cosmos open up before your eyes, or was that...
Oh, you fell in the water.
Have you been here before? Are you, like, stuck here?
Well, I didn't come alone, and I'm not exactly prone to waiting around for my friends. They'll get up here eventually, but I figured I'd make my way on my own.
Sick. Yeah.
Sorry, when are you?
When am I? It's a really weird way to say that. I am from 2024. Is that a normal number to you?
Oh.
Okay. You know what? I'm guessing you're from further. Don't tell me.
40 years, huh?
Are you from 40 years in the past? In which case, would you like some investment advice, or 40 years in the future, in which case can I have investment advice?
I mean, I can't take investment advice from you. That seems like it. I mean,
listen, there's this thing, the internet, it's a good idea.
Internet,
write that down. This guy, Bill Gates, write that down.
Bill Gates.
Don't just like, I won't say more, but like those things, if you get an opportunity to put money in, just do it. It works out fine. Yeah. I know it's a weird name, Bill Gates. It's apparently his name, so.
I was climbing up here to talk to whatever's at the top.
Oh, that makes sense or something. I assumed there was just like, we leave, but that makes sense or something. I'm worried it's some evil wizard named Klaxor.
Oh, no, you're fine. You'd know the Tower of Klaxor. It's over the top. You would know it.
Okay.
Klaxor's the whole deal is
40 years ago, did people just like do this sort of thing? Is that something history erased?
No, I just, you get desperate and you start to look up some things. I learned some things about the universe that maybe I wasn't supposed to.
You know what? No, that's smart. With the one bad thing about the internet, we do not use libraries enough anymore. And you probably learned that in a book. And I will
renew your library card.
I will renew my library card. Having fun isn't hard with fun, so.
And she's just like, she was climbing with you, and now you're like above her as she's kind of just like swinging on this rope. I was climbing to talk to the fate at the top about how to save my company from bankruptcy.
Oh. Well, if you get some ways to network and invest with one William Gates, you'll probably be fine.
Noted.
He mostly does okay, pretty much right out the gate.
Noted.
There's another guy, Steve Jobs. He's a little bit, but he also does fine right out the gate. Either one of them, you should be fine. Can you just leave? Can we just turn around?
I have spent years of my life coming to this moment, and I guess I can just turn around.
Oh, well, congrats. Happy to help.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I came in through a sewer that shouldn't exist. And it exists on no known maps because I made all of them. So I don't know hopefully how you got here is easier. Hopefully you just like go and get in your car or something. I hope you don't have to like fight a dragon or whatever the fuck is going on in your life.
Well, I don't need to be here anymore.
Okay.
And so I guess and she unclips the carabiner, drops as she's about to fall, just says, "I'm Stephanie, by the way," and just like falls full speed. You hear the splash, you see the swirling of cosmic mist, and somewhere far away in a distant past, we see this woman in her early 30s step out of a side alleyway I started to say just a fun description thing, but I've actually got an even better. Steps out of an alleyway in New York City. Which, fun fact, there are no alleyways in New York City, despite what TV has told you.
Huh.
The whole I learned this from my dear friend Ned Donovan, who lives in New York, and was explaining this to me. Every script that is ever written about New York City references alleyways. There is only one proper alleyway in New York City. They just, the way that the buildings are designed, they don't have that.
Yeah, you know what? I only go to New York for like Comic-Con. I hear New York City Comic-Con, but even thinking about those city blocks, there are
no alleyways. So like we see this woman step out of an alleyway onto a New York City street, adjust her jacket, and go like, "It's a big day for the Betamax Corporation," and walks off.
I just go, huh. And I take out my phone and go into the Notes app, look up Stephanie, Bill Gates, partnership ? See if she's still around. And then a note, I put a reminder on my phone, renew library card, set for tomorrow ?
You find the Stephanie Hale Foundation for the public funding of the library arts is what you find.
Huh.
It is the nation's foremost organization in charge of like funding public libraries and like providing resources. It seems this conversation made an impact.
Having fun isn't hard when you have a library card.
You arrive at the top of the floor. You arrive at the next floor of the tunnel or of the tower. There, waiting for you. It would be helpful if I didn't lose my page.
You're so okay.
There, waiting for you, like, is a completely empty room.
Okay.
and above you a series of no, wait, hold on. Let me find exactly what I'm gonna do here for time and for structure. This is great. Okay, you arrive at the next floor, and as you look around, you are surrounded by dozens and dozens of like a forest of knitting of like thread needles.
Huh.
Loud, crowded. They clackle and they jostle and crackle and rattle, and there is like a clear movement above them. They clearly are being rattled by. You can feel something. The top of the tower must be close because it is rattling these. It is rattling this forest of needles all around you. They are taller than you. They stretch all the way to the floor. There is near the exit of the room, you can see a staircase along the far wall that you can try to walk through this bundle of needles. But on the far side of that wall, you also see a small bone weaving wheel.
Okay. So there's a bone weaving wheel along the wall I'm already on the side of.
Yes.
And then across, if I go try and get through the needle forest with something above running around, there's a door. Is what you're saying?
That is correct.
I'm gonna go to the wheel first. It's on my side already. May as well see what that's about.
It is a perfectly functioning bone crafted spinning wheel. Like a loom, basically.
Okay.
A real proper thread wheel.
Huh. There's no one here though.
There is no one here. It is simply sitting perfectly unattended. The needles, the heddles bobble and rattle against one another. And you are just stuck staring at this wheel that is in front of you.
Is there thread here?
What color is the thread that appears woven around the spinning wheel as you think that question?
It's easy. It's yellow again.
Yellow? As you think that, it begins to spin around, and you feel you can see it start to fill up and start to spin around. It emerge and you see the foot pedal start to kick, and suddenly you look down and that thread has emerged from the wheel into your chest.
Oh.
Harmlessly. And then you look behind you and it has emerged out of your back, and it has started to thread through the holes in the middle of the heddle needles and part them almost.
Huh. Thank you, spinning wheel or spirit of spinning wheels owner. I just start walking.
What moments of your life where the question that you are going to ask fate loomed in the back of your mind? What are the moments that emerge as you walk along this path, brushing against this thread of yearning and of visions of your own life, the thread of your own existence as you walk along it?
What memories?
What are the visions that you see?
I see the last day of second grade. I see the midterms of my junior year of college. I see my sister's high school graduation. And I see my dog's 3rd birthday.
Wonderful. You make your way up the staircase and you follow this thread, and suddenly it parts from you Like you see it get pulled in a direction, it gets pulled out of your body harmlessly and like becomes part of like a deeply intricately woven tapestry, a tapestry where you see each of these memories and moments formed in woven thread.
Mm-hmm.
And then hanging all around you. Almost imagine like a rug store or like one of those like hanging like a tapestry gallery.
Mm-hmm.
All around you there are all of these different tapestries with different visions, different beings, different lives of people that you've never seen before, from places and times and worlds entirely different from your own. Some of them your classmates, some of them people on the other side of the earth, some of them people a long time ago in a galaxy far away. You are staring at all of these and it is difficult to move, but you can see on the far side of the room that you're on a doorway. And on that doorway, underneath that doorway, you can see flashes and glistening, or flashes and sparks almost of a workshop, an observatory. The observatory of the weaver, the person that is making these tapestries, is working on the other side of that door.
Okay. Before I approach the door, I start looking on these rugs for the knight who gave me their cloak. I want to try and find their rug.
Give me a. I think this. I was going to say erudite, but I don't think this is. I don't think this is a matter of like identifying. I think this is. You will be able to find it because that's a good moment to be able to find it. But I am going to say, give me a skulk roll, skulker roll, to see if you find it without something else happening.
That is double 6 is 12 for 13.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. This was going to be very, very difficult to have you avoid a thing happening, and you effortlessly weave past every single one of these tapestries. There's a moment where you almost brush up against one, and you catch yourself. And you move, and you eventually see this knight.
Okay.
Sir Valister. Sir Valister from a land of magic and monster and myth and wonder. Sir Valister, a young man swept up in the importance of being a knight, of being a hero, obsessed with the unsolvable quest of finding the Forever Sword. A sword that would bring bountiful harvests to a kingdom forevermore. A sword that would bend time around it and give the wielder the ability to provide for those in their charge forevermore. That is the sword that this knight has spent his entire life seeking. And you see in the tapestry all of these adventures and all of these moments that this knight has spent looking for this object. And you see, in a moment of desperation, coming to the tower, and a moment of standing at that doorway, opening it, and you see a moment of just the face of that knight confronted by what is on the other side of that door. And then of seeing you. And then you see, I think for the first time, because you had your back turned, you see them dissolve into fairy dust as represented in this tapestry.
Oh, shit. I take off Sir Valis's cloak, and I'm like, I didn't find your sword. I don't know if your sword is real or what happened to you. Stephanie dissolved, so I think you're okay. I think you just went home. I don't know if you can get this back from here, but it kept me pretty warm. I don't need it now, and it feels wrong to keep it because I didn't do what you asked me to. So here, I try to thread the cloak into his rug, hoping like somehow he'll get this back wherever or whenever he is.
I love that. That is so unexpected and wonderful that I think like you begin to do that and you watch it weave instantly and disappear from your hands almost as if it has been sucked into the tapestry. And there is a moment where sitting alone in a cave, helmet off, long gray beard, long white hair, the quest for this sword having taken his entire life, sitting alone, sitting unfulfilled, sitting broken at the end of an endless journey. In the lap of this knight falls a small indigo cloak. And you see him grab it and look up, look around, momentarily uncertain but then grateful, and don the cloak, grab a stick to walk with, and go home. And at that moment you hear, "Oi! Oh, what are you doing out here?"
What are you doing out here?
Don't be touching the tapestries.
I didn't touch them, technically.
It looks like, and you turn around and there is a tall guard with an oversized heddle hook of burnished copper marching towards you, very indignantly.
You see, what had happened is, I want to, what had happened is this guard, just like classic kid, running from the corner store owner through aisles, like out of here into that room that said Observer.
Give me an erudite roll. Or Skulker. I guess Skulker would make more sense because it's sort of this sort of thievery and deception.
Okay.
And I'm also going to roll here because I don't know how I want to play this.
It's a 10. 5 plus 3, or 5 plus 4 plus 1.
I think it almost works. I rolled an 11 and I think it almost works. And I think like you're telling this story and the guard is just like, "Uh-huh. Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, you're not going in that room, but all right. Yeah, sure.
No, well, you see, supposedly I was pulled here by fate themselves to have a chat. So I don't think you want to upset your boss.
That is the exact thing that I think you needed to say. Like, one of the things I love about when you read like a written adventure and like you read a character's thing and you're like, there's probably one thing that you could say that would just ruin this person's day. And I think, oh, okay, yeah, all right. I'm not. If she's wants a meeting, it's not on me. But you know, you should know before you go up there. If you try anything, you wouldn't be the first person to draw a blade on the Weaver. You wouldn't be the first person to be woven into one of these goddamn tapestries.
I want you to like look at me I'm wearing a plague mask. You think I have a sword? Do you think I would have tried to? Do you think I would bullshit you?
I'm just saying.
I say as I like walk around them. Do you think I would have bullshitted you if like a lie if I had a sword and I start running?
Oi, I got to get a new job. You climb the stairs. Please go ahead.
There's this really good place that wants kids to get library cards you can work at.
Great. Fantastic callback. I'm so happy. You climb the stairs to the observatory. Rhythmic clacking masks the sound of your footsteps in stone. Once outside the sky was gray, but now sunlight drenches the floor from the open ceiling, flooding down the staircase, illuminating motes of dust dancing in the light. The yarns and threads that surround the tower are visible again, streaming in over the stone and mortar from every angle. They hum and quiver with tension as they wind endlessly into balls that hover in midair, waiting for the weaver to pull loose ends from the middle to measure and cut before taking the thread to her loom. As you enter the room, you see the weaver and her loom. Threads are swirling around her like a vortex. She is sitting back towards you, facing back towards you, like working on her loom, just sort of pulling at threads and working. The hood of her dress casts a shadow over her, and you can just see like her arms working at triple speed.
Hello? Hi?
And as she's working, she like sits up. Oh, wow, is it that time already?
Yes? Question mark?
I figured you were gonna have a bunch more lessons and challenges, I guess. Okay.
I'm a fast lesson and challenger. Your guard's also definitely afraid of upsetting you. And I was like, the fate wanted to see me. Anyway, hi.
Hi.
Yeah. I'm here for now. You wanted, I assume I'm supposed to be here for now.
Yes. It wasn't what I expected. Not a lot of people make it to the top. Most people, for one reason or another, fall back into the water and go back where they were supposed to go. But you have made it.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay. Come sit.
Okay. I go sit down.
And like as you sit, you see for a moment. First you see everything. First you see all, like for an instant, you swear that you see all of time and space, which is a lot to take in.
Yeah, this is the second time this has happened to me today.
The second time that you fell in the pool, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now see, you are not supposed to fall in the pool and then come out.
Oh.
I'm glad that this is, don't laugh when I say what I'm about to say.
I don't make any promises, and I assume you already know what's going to happen.
This is fate.
Oh,
you
because it's you.
I appreciate that. Yes, because I'm fit. Because all of the threads. I appreciate that you didn't laugh.
You're welcome. I will be honest. I'm still processing what's happening, so I'll probably laugh about this tomorrow. Question mark. I'm not sure what time will mean for me after I leave this space.
And she leans over. Yep, you do laugh about it tomorrow. That's great.
Okay. I'm glad. I will pencil that in so I don't break time. I take out my phone, laugh about this tomorrow, don't break time.
And she kind of sits back. Oh, time is resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, I also watched The Good Place.
I assume you know the deal.
No.
You know the deal, right?
Mm-mm. Some knight who was searching for the Forever Sword, I learned on watching his Hulu live series.
Yeah. You didn't attack me, and I assume, and that's for the best.
No, why? What?
You kind of probably found him looking pretty sad outside in a cave, and then I'm guessing, disappeared.
No, I gave him his coat back, and he walked away happy.
Yeah, that tapestry is him now.
Oh, because he tried to hit you.
Because he thought that it was the righteous end of a quest. I told him. I answered his. Let me back up.
Okay.
Hi. I'm Weaver.
I assume you know my name already.
I got you. People, this tower is where I work. It is where destinies happen.
Metaphysical explanation for fate and destiny.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
People come here to ask me of something. They want to know something. They want to change something.
Makes sense.
And if you make it up here, and I recognize it's a weird journey, and there's a lot of points where you might just wake up back where you came, changed for the experience for better or worse. You know how metaphysical places are.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many shows like this.
You get the vibe.
Yeah. People.
I try my best.
I'm guessing those writers came and talked to you, and that's why they feel like how this is happening exactly.
Precisely. You get it. I try my best to answer honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If you're here, if you've made it to me, I will give you an answer.
Sick.
He didn't like my answer.
Yeah.
So he tried to...
He thought you were like a witch or something.
Precisely. He thought if he defeated me, he could change the answer.
Gotcha. That is unfortunate. No, I found him in a sewer, and then he turned into fairy dust.
And then he turned into fairy dust and got warped into the yep, that tracks.
I see. People can ask you one... If I ask you a question, will it delete me asking you a question? Like if I ask a clarifying question?
Oh, no, you can ask clarifying questions. That's fine.
Okay.
Like, and she kind of like pulls on a yellow thread and like holds it in front of you. When you're going to ask the question, I'm going to know it's the question. So you may as well ask the clarifying question so you know what the question is going to be for when you ask it.
Gotcha. Okay. That is cool. This isn't the question. Is he, like, I gave him his coat back, so is he a happy tapestry now?
He will at least, well, no one's ever done that.
Oh.
For someone in a tapestry before.
My bad.
No. You misunderstand my tone. The answer to your question is yes, and I'm extremely tickled about that.
Okay.
Because no one's ever done that before.
I see.
People see the glimpses of the tapestries and they're like, oh my god, this is all the possibilities that could be but are not me. I better, tread lightly. No one's ever, like, done a solid for them before.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's like I've been, like, climbing and swimming and running all day. It was like binging something on, like, Netflix, so... And then I didn't need it. It was cold. It's cold down there. And it's not cold up here. So I was like, I don't really need this cloak. It doesn't really go with the whole, I like taking my plague mask off. It doesn't go with the whole, that's because I walk around in the suit, you know that.
Yeah.
So I get to ask you a question.
You can ask me a question. You can ask me for a boon.
Oh, okay.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. Okay.
Everybody gets one. I can't promise you that you're gonna like the answer.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna. This is not. I don't want you to think. This is not an evil wish situation. This is I want you to. No, I want you to know that, like, I'm at my job and I'm gonna do what I can.
Can I say a statement as a question?
Yes.
Can I say a statement with a question at the end of it?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And I should note, like, again, you would be so shocked at the number of people that arrive at this moment and think, like, right now, are you thinking in the back of your mind, like, you got to get the wording right or else I'm going to, like, make life hell?
No, I don't think that at all.
Thank you. You have no idea how many people get up here and they have to, like, unfurl a little, like, piece of paper and be like, the party of the first party represents the party of the first. And I'm like, just chill and ask your question. Like I'm here.
Also, is it? I'm not like. Do you need to, like, go back to work and then wait until your next break, or?
No, I mean, time will wait.
Okay, back to time. I'm not gonna ask more about that. I've seen The Good Place. I don't need my head to hurt. I want to make the world smile. Not in a literal sense for the planet or every inhabitant on the planet that may or may not be. In, like, a metaphysical make my tummy feel warm way where I'm like, I've made the world smile today. And I frankly, no offense, don't think there's any question I need to ask for that, because I think I do a pretty good job. I do my best. That's all I can do each day. I don't need you to make me better. So my question is, can I go home? Because I fell to get down in here into a sewer pipe that shouldn't exist, and I don't really want to, like, climb and swim and run across a moat again. So can you send me home? If not, I mean, I'll go do all that. I'm not, like you said, you can do your best, but I've just always wanted to make the world smile, and I don't have a question to do that. I just wanted to see what was up here. I got sent here, and then I was like, okay, I'm doing this now. I've seen all the shows and the movies, and I figure I gotta see it through, and I thought I was helping this guy out, and then I realized there is no sword, or at least not for me. And
It's kind of a metaphor. No, you're right. It's kind of a metaphorical thing. It's supposed to represent, it's a whole thing. He didn't appreciate that it was a metaphor, and that's kind of what I tried to like let him know. It turned into a whole thing.
Gotcha. And so once I was up here, it seemed like I may as well see it through. But I mean, it's been great meeting you. You seem super cool. I'm sure you'd be cool to hang out with if it didn't take, going through a metaphysical journey through time and space to get to you, and you were allowed to hang out with mortals when they aren't asking you questions. But yeah, I just want to go home so I can go back to making people smile.
Huh. And she like looks around and she grabs this yellow thread and she takes a little pink thread and she ties them together on a knot. Huh.
If you can't, it's okay. Like I said, I can go. I'll start walking.
Hold on. There's a whole. I gotta.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me find the voice. Let me find the voice. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? It's down. It's down. It's sort of down. It's more diaphragm. Your boon has been correct. No, not corrected. No, sorry. Let me take that. Let me take that from the top. Let me take that from the. Here we go. Your boon has been requested. I, as the weaver of fate, shall take this under advisement. You must now leave and never return.
Okay, that was really cool. It was like a surround sound thing. That was sick.
Thank you. It's really in the voice. It's really like it's a lot of the resonance of the room and like the weird time threads kind of like add to it, but like a lot of it's just like you got to find. It's kind of like where you're holding your voice. It's just dropping that lower and sort of letting the natural resonance of the room really kind of carry that.
So okay, you said leave and never return, and I respect that. If you ever want help? I don't know, it seems lonely up here. I'm just throwing it out there. But I'm also a normal mortal person and not it's some metaphysical representation created by I'm sure you don't know what. But I'm gonna go, because you said leave, and if you ever need help, I'm not great at sewing. I am great at cataloging, and I think I'm gonna go get a job at a library when I get home, and I'm gonna have the Dewey Decimal System down pat. You have a good existence? That seems mean, but I doubt day. As I get to door, I doubt day or night means anything to you. I leave and I guess I go to like open a door and leave.
The work continues, and she like leans back on her loom. And you open the door, and there is the doorway to your bedroom.
Oh, okay. See ya.
And you close the door, and you reopen it, and on the other side of that bedroom is the hallway of your apartment. Like there is like your home. And you close the door, you open it, and you are fully like back home as though you never left the house.
Huh. Wild.
But waiting for you on your bed is a small ball of yellow thread and a needle. And you touch the ball of thread, and for a moment you hear, the rules state you can only visit the tower one time. Thread the needle and we'll make an exception.
Okay. I grab the ball, I get the needle, I go to my little like sitting area. It's like a half living room. It's open concept, it's like the living room and the kitchen is all kind of one room. Sit down, I turn on some like ambient music. I make sure the dog's food and water autoreceptor have worked for the evening, and they have. And I'm like, okay, I guess where the hobby is threading needles tonight, girl. Also tomorrow morning we're gonna go out to the library and see if they need any volunteers for the teen reading hour this summer. Also we're gonna look up someone named Stephanie Hale. I think we're best friends now. I'm not sure. Or we've always been best friends. I have a lot to catch you up on. You enjoy your dinner, and I'm gonna work on this. Ow! I say as I like prick myself with the needle.
You thread the needle. Immediately, a doorway opens in front of you. You look inside, and there is the observatory that you just left. And walking through the door of that observatory is someone that you swear you recognized. You swear they look so familiar to you, but you can't pinpoint exactly why. They look like you, but older. Walking through a door and being greeted with a handshake and a hug is the Weaver, looking exactly the same on the other side. The Weaver shakes their hand, briefly turns around, sees you looking through the door, and just shouts, No, that was literal. You're just opening the door. You don't need to do it. That's just the doorway. That's just a magical trick. You don't have to. You're fine. Honey, you're fine. You don't have to. You're good.
Okay. Can I still work at the library?
Yeah. You're good. They're gonna love you.
Okay. I'll see you like Saturday.
That sounds great. And you pull out the thread, the doorway closes, and that is game. This was wonderful. Thank you for this experience. Did you have a good time?
This was sick.
I'm so glad you feel that way. What was your favorite moment from play?
Oh, that opening was I will be in my home games taking each player one by one and running them through this.
I'm so glad to hear that, because the game specifically includes a section on here's how to do this while you're integrating it in with your home game, and I think that is a sick arrangement.
I will be reading that, and I will be running them through this. I'll be reading that and seeing what it suggests, and then running them through this, either with new characters or their current character, or both. This is sick. I also the Stephanie Holder, that was really fun. So was yellow just like the one when someone else shows up?
No, all of them. So what it was, so that particular room, there were a few rooms that we didn't play through, but that particular room, every one of the colors of thread would have conjured a different person.
Okay.
And there are a few of them. Red would have conjured a knight that probably would have ended up being the knight that you met, which would have been funny. Yellow, and it literally says, Stephanie offers a stream of unsolicited climbing advice. And criticizes your lack of specialized gear, and that someday she will climb the tower to prevent her corporation from bankruptcy and acquisition.
That's so funny.
It's so funny that you pulled that immediately, both from the climbing thing and also the fact that you immediately went, here's some stuff to invest in. I was like, that's what she's looking for.
That's so funny.
It was so perfect. It could not have been a better moment. It could not have been a better random color decision than that exact moment.
Nothing's random.
It made me so happy. When I was reading the description, when you said yellow, I was like, holy shit, this is perfect. This is so good. Thank you again for playing this with me. I'm overjoyed.
Yeah, I had a great time. This was sick.
Real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
You can find me online everywhere I want to be found at Sailor Scott Austin. That's at Sailor SCT Austin. I also have a website, austintaylor.games. I always forget that I have a website. That's so best places to know what I'm doing in a current moment is Twitter. I try and use Blue Sky. I'm not great at keeping up with Blue Sky. So Sailor Scott Austin, Sailor SCT Austin, for either of those. I'm also technically on TikTok and Instagram, and then my website, austintaylor.games, has everything I've worked on. It doesn't do so much for in progress stuff. And then, of course, my podcast, Secret Histories and Nerd Mysteries, the Secret Histories and Nerd Mysteries on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get podcasts, are all great places to find me and hear my voice and what I'm doing.
Fuck yeah. Well, thank you again for playing this with me. I had the absolute best time. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Austin for coming onto the show and playing this game with me. That was an experience. That was we captured something really beautiful and special there, and like I am so grateful that we got to play out this game. I'm really taken aback is really how I would describe it. Be sure to pick up your own copy of The Weaver's Observatory at gemroomgames.com, and be sure to check out Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries on the Maximum Fun Network, as well as Austin's other work at austintaylor.games, and be sure to follow her on Twitter at Sailor Scout Austin. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Party of One Podcast, find us on TikTok at Party of One Podcast, find us on Tumblr at Party of One Pod, subscribe to our newsletter at buttondown.email/Party of One Podcast, and join our Discord community at bit.ly/Party of One Discord. If you enjoy the show, there's a lot of ways to support it. You can support us financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or Ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. You can give us a nice iTunes review, shout us out to a friend, give us some love on social media. You can buy some Party of One merch at bit.ly/Party of One merch. Or, if you're looking for more great podcast content, you can check out All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast that I make with my best friend in the world, Aaron Catano Saez. We take a listener-submitted prompt and spin it into an original fantasy character, populating a shared universe one story at a time. You can also check out Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast, which is an actual play about a heartless witch, a cozy house, and the many people making their homes inside. Both of those you can find wherever you get your podcasts. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Rain, featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And, unless I am mistaken, that is all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.